got into this weird hobby. I started liking to collect notebooks of all things, like this one here. It's actually Tails. I really like that because Tails is my favorite Sonic character. And also, in that same video I was doing when I went to the Build-A-Bear and got the EV back there, spotted a notebook, and I'm like, I like collecting notebooks. So now, here is this. Oh, look at that. It's a Evolution notebook. Wow, wow, wow. And the back thing. Cute, cute. But that's not the reason we're here. Today we're going to look at this thing, whatever this monstrosity is. So it's no secret that I really like to draw, in Pokemon especially. How did I learn? Pretty much by myself. But this book here, it's supposed to help me, get better. Look at that. We got all these selections here. I'm sure it'll be a good time. It's How to Draw Pokemon by, there's no author name. Not even on the back, it's just this. No matter, I'm pretty sure we'll find even more good stuff. It's time to look at the table of content. I'm pretty sure that's not how you spell that, because in every book it's table of contents. I've never had a book that says table of content. That's fine. Well, let's look at what Pokemon can I draw. How can I show it? How can I draw it? Holy cow, I can draw this good of a Haunter? That looks so good. Wait, hold on. Why is the end result so basic? Why does it look like it came straight from fan art, actually? Why can I draw only these specific Pokemon characters? What is this? Why is there Why? This is actually fan art in the back of that. Look at that. That's definitely fan art. But in all honesty, I gotta really ask, why am I being taught these lies? So as the title states, this really isn't your typical how-to drawing book. I've always been a bit afraid to receive something that maybe be considered a bootleg. Why would I be afraid, you may ask? Well, I'm a fan of official stuff. I've seen third-party stuff in the past like that. And I'll admit, some of it's good. Some of it's decent, but then you just get this, which I think is going to fall into the worst category. But when it comes to official Pokemon merchandise, I think it's safe to say Japan has a better selection than America. I'm about to veer off for a minute, but hang with me. It's safe to say Japan has a better selection of Pokemon products than America or any other international country, because Japan has the most amount of Pokemon centers in the whole country. Actually, they're the only country with Pokemon centers, unless you count the Singapore Cafe. But I'm making this point to lay out this little hypothesis I have, and it's about addressing the idea of bootleg product. I think people in America and many other foreign countries make these things because they want to be able to receive these cool Pokemon products as well. It leads them to make these things out of motivation, to have some street cred, and to fulfill their dreams of attaining some specific merchandise we wouldn't otherwise see in other countries. Is this claim very broken? Definitely, but I don't think I'm wrong. Some of these things could just be an idea to make stuff and sell to make some money. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Money makes the world go round, and it helps our businesses grow. That's just how economics work. But when you advertise a product like this as official, this is interesting. Then it gets pretty hairy, especially when it looks a little bit off. Like kind of look at this. We have a little consistency going on right here, and then you get this where there's no border. I don't know what happened. And if the publisher gets caught, which we definitely just did, when things look a bit off, the people who actually made the original product from scratch, i.e. the Pokemon Company, the original publisher of this stuff, may get caught. And that's what leads us to this video. You can stop skipping that. So with this statement in mind, let's explore this. If you ask me where I found this book, I don't know, because I actually received this as a gift. At first I thought it looked legit because of the cover style. Now I've actually seen this kind of style before in a book that shows all the Pokemon entries leading up to Galar. And that looked good in design. It was fully fleshed out. It looked presentable. But this doesn't look the same. Like, if you looked at all the art on here and I asked you what kind of art is this, you'd probably say Sugimori, and I'd say you're correct. Aside from this one, this is actually a mystery dungeon sprite. False advertising. And like I mentioned before, on the back here, you can clearly see some fan art if you really zoom in, and you can see that it's just blocking out everything. You know it's there, but all these examples, they're just straight up blocking it. I'm not sure why this publisher thought this would be okay, but it is what it is. I just hope that he recognizes those fan artists. Amidst the art community, it's just a rule of thumb. Breaking that is like breaking the law. You're going to jail. Now let's compare this third-party bootleg to an actually official product. These third-party products tend to have some sort of partnership with the home company. As you can see, the third-party product has the name of the publisher, the credibility of the publisher, and all the necessary disclaimers to establish that they don't own the original product they are making. These disclaimers can establish, in this situation, that they have partnered with the home company to make this product. Everything is done under legal procedures. in some areas the Pokemon logo is not trademarked, and there's no mention of this property being copyrighted to Pokemon, Nintendo, Game Freak, and Creatures Inc. And that concerns me because it makes you think about the credibility of this book. Anyways, I think I've spent enough time to actually start to look into it. Right off the bat, you're going to notice that the font of the book's introductory pages looks very much like Mario's font, just blacked out. Meaning that if you don't already know this game's choice of font, you'll know something's a little fishy. No matter whether you're a beginner or an expert at drawing, here's some tools you will need. Paper, pencil, eraser, and sharpener. Okay, sure, but true, but bro, even an expert would know. The publisher must have thought he was talking to absolute children. Unless in reality, we are dumb, which I'm pretty sure we aren't. Also look, there's actual typos in the form of E's being replaced with O's. Who published this? If that doesn't tell you this is a bootleg product, I don't know what will. Unless you keep watching, I'm not sure where you guys draw the line for bootleg. Now, this next page is the next indicator of this being a potential bootleg. Table of content. I mentioned this at the start. Literally no publisher would let that get past them. I'm not a writer, but even I know that it would probably be best to call it table of contents and not table of content. That's like saying, here's my table describing where you can find my one thing. Contents, they are plural. And here's more or less of a nitpick. As you can see, the contents start out to be alphabetical, but around halfway, it does whatever it wants. The OCD in me is commanding that it should be alphabetical. Again, it's just a nitpick. Okay, so, well, this is all well and good, but how about the actual method of teaching? Now, what we have here is what looks to be line art of Pokemon for the most part, but as we get further into the book, you'll notice that they turn into either fan art, look like renders from a video game, be something different from the example, and the list goes on. This is not a good sign. I'm not liking the look of this. Also, the selection of Pokemon, if we go back to the table of contents, table of content, is extremely random and feels slightly incomplete to me. Not because of the fact that it doesn't contain all the Pokemon, but because you can see some trios in this book, like the birds with one of them missing. It's Moltres. Also, this Articuno drawing looks a bit off. I don't know why this was published. Another reason to back this up is the actual characters in the drawing, which are May and Misty, aka Kasumi. Hold up, I don't know why they had to include a Japanese name. I'm pretty sure not even Pokemon would publish Japanese names into their English product. It's a little weird. The point is that they should have included Ash if they were going to include characters. Why these specific two characters in the first place? It contributes to the feeling of incompleteness. Now, despite these weird and sketchy flaws, I made an art joke. This isn't terrible, honestly. This isn't terrible. Like I mentioned in the beginning, bootlegs do have that ability to be flawed, and I mean very flawed. But this one, I'll be real, it's not actually the worst offender. Wait, a good aspect of a non-official product? This I gotta see. This is what the book actually does well. It actually properly teaches you to draw a Pokemon, which I like. And it teaches you how to properly use shapes for your drawings, which honestly is an aspect I'm still trying to pick up in some scenarios. So I guess I'll have to learn from a bootleg, which is kind of sad at the same time. So for that reason, this book does have some merit towards it, despite the flaws. You can learn to draw various Pokemon correctly on a basic level and properly understand the proportions each Pokemon has. Overall rating of this bootleg, 3 out of 10. 7 points are missing because of the lack of the official branding, trademarking, copywriting, etc. Oh, and they're not crediting fan art. The only reason I would lower the score is if I found out they used some kind of AI to show you all the shapes. That'd be a 2 out of 10. So there you have it. That concludes this video of me bashing a bootleg product. How was it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, do consider liking and subscribing. It's gonna help me out a lot, and it helps the channel a lot more than you would think. I don't do huge video essays like this, but I thought this would be a fun one to make for you guys. Just only because I'm also an artist, and seeing weird bootleg products is not something I see every day, honestly. But for now, guys, that is going to conclude this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. Goodbye.